How's it going, everybody? My name is John, and we are here today to talk about the only vice presidential debate of this election cycle between Senator J.D. Vance and Governor Tim Walz. So without further ado, they discussed a lot of policy. We're going to get right into it and start right where they started on the subject of Israel.
But the expansion of Israel and its proxies is an absolute fundamental necessity for the United States to have the steady leadership there.
Look, it is up to Israel what they think they need to do to keep their country safe, and we should support our allies wherever they are when they're fighting the bad guys. I think that's the right approach to take with the Israel question.
If you're anti-war and you're for free Palestine, neither of these answers are going to do it for you. Despite both of their answers being very similar, I feel like if you're like me and at best you're skeptical about Israel's practices in the Middle East, you have to go with the Trump-Vance ticket. The Abraham Peace Accords were a very successful thing under Trump's leadership. On the other hand, you can say that all these conflicts have happened in the Middle East only under the Biden-Harris administration. Lebanon wasn't getting bombed before this. Gazans weren't dying at the rates of thousands and thousands. Israelis weren't being terror attacked. So I feel as if the Republicans are the only people in this topic that have any sort of foot to even stand on. Next thing they touched up on was climate change. Now, I don't know that much about climate change, but I want to see if you guys can make sense of what Tim Walz says here.
The largest solar manufacturing plant in North America sits in Minnesota. But my farmers know climate change is real. They've seen 500-year droughts, 500-year floods back to back.
500-year drought and 500-year rain back to back? How are the Minnesota farmers experiencing this 1,000-year weather phenomenon if the United States has only been here for 300 years? Maybe I'm misunderstanding Tim Walz, but somebody would need to explain this to me. I could sit here and start picking on Tim Walz's other gaffes, such as him saying he's friends with school shooters and the Tiananmen Square fiasco answer that he gave. But I believe I should take a key from J.D. Vance's book and keep this strictly policy with no personal or ad hominem attacks. So without further ado, let's move into the most contentious issue of the election, in my opinion, which is immigration.
The good news on this is the last 12 months saw the largest decrease in opioid deaths in our nation's history. 30% decrease in Ohio, but there's still more work to do. But let's go back to this on immigration. Kamala Harris was the Attorney General of the largest state and a border state in California. She's the only person in this race who prosecuted transnational gangs for human trafficking and drug intervention.
What point is Walz even making here? This idea that Kamala Harris is so great for the border because she's the only person running in this election that has prosecuted transnational gangs and violent criminal offenders. You're also the only person running in this election that was a prosecutor. We've seen the largest decrease in opioid deaths in the U.S. history. Well, it wouldn't have to be that way if the damn deaths weren't that high from fentanyl to begin with. He said a similarly useless statistic in the climate change bit when he said that North America has the biggest solar plant facility. Well, that's just in North America. I'm sure that China has much more, which was the point that J.D. Vance was making.
Question was, will you separate parents from their children, even if their kids are U.S. citizens? You have 1 minute.
I understand the idea of talking about family separation, but that question makes no sense to me. If me and my girlfriend went to China today and my girlfriend was 9 months pregnant and the baby was born in China, would it be a Chinese citizen? These people are not U.S. citizens just because people jumped the border illegally and they popped out on this side. Before we were able to move off of the topic of immigration, the moderators tried to push this to J.D. Vance, but he chin-checked them pretty good.
And just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status. Temporary protected status.
Well, Margaret, but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important because
we're going to turn out of the economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
The rules were that you guys weren't going to fact check, and since you're fact checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. So there's an application called the CBP One app, where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole, and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris open border wand. That is not a person coming in, applying for a green card and waiting for 10 years. That is the facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by our own leadership.
Thank you, Senator, for describing the legal process. We have so much to get to, Senator.
Those laws have been on the books since 1990.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The CBP One app has not been on the books since 1990. something that Kamala Harris created, Margaret.
They ended up spending over 10 minutes on the next topic, and it's abortion.
Former President Trump said in the last debate that you believe abortion, quote, in the 9th month is absolutely fine. Yes or no? Is that what you support? I'll give you 2 minutes.
That's not what the bill says, but look, this issue is what's on everyone's mind. Donald Trump put this all into motion.
Ignoring the fact that Walz dodged that question on late-term abortion, I want to focus in on the other thing that he said. It's on everyone's mind. It sure as hell wasn't on my mind before they brought it up. I'm over here thinking about inflation, the price of housing, the illegal immigration and open border, potential World War III with Russia, potential World War III with Iran. But yup, abortion's on what's everyone's mind, yeah.
Just your biggest nightmare. Look, I got a 17-year-old, and he witnessed a shooting at a community center playing volleyball. Those things don't.
Tim, first of all, I didn't know that your 17-year-old witnessed a shooting. And I'm sorry about that, and I hope that he's doing okay.
So.
Christ have mercy.
I believe that moment between J.D. Vance and Tim Walz where J.D. apologizes for his son witnessing a school shooting, which it is horrific. God help us. I think that was a really sincere moment, and I think that's what American politics should really be about. J.D. Vance and Tim Walz had each other shake their wife's hands. Tim Walz shook J.D. Vance's wife's hand and vice versa. And I think this is a good look for American politics, something that the original presidential debate was definitely lacking. The last thing I'll say about the debate is this moment where Tim Walz called himself old came across a little puzzling to me.
He's earned it because he did it successfully the first time.
Governor?
All right, here's where being an old guy gives you some history. I was there at the creation of the ACA.
Somebody make it make sense that a man born in 1964 is old, but a woman born in 1964 is young and dynamic. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you thought of the debate in the comments below. Make sure that you go see it for yourself. They discussed a lot more than what I'm talking about in this video, and I am bullying Walz a little bit. His performance wasn't that bad. I just definitely think that J.D. Vance took the cake. Once again, let me know what you thought of the debate in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.